All right, so buckle up, everybody, because today we are taking a deep dive into a real head-scratcher.
Oh, I love a good mystery.
This one takes us back to 1948,
Okay.
a time when, air travel was becoming more common.
Yeah, exciting times.
But it was still, pretty new and kind of risky.
Absolutely.
And this story, this is about the disappearance of a British airliner
Oh.
called Star Tiger.
Okay.
Now, this event, it kind of became part of that whole Bermuda Triangle legend.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah.
And we're going to be diving into a YouTube video transcript.
All right.
It's called Accidental Aviatic Star Tiger from the channel Attenti Cadmere.
Okay, great.
So, to set the scene, right,
Yep.
we got to go back to post-World War II Britain.
Mm-hmm.
Things were tough, right? But they were really trying to make a comeback.
Yeah, rebuilding.
Exactly. And one way they were doing that was through, becoming a leader in aviation.
I see.
And that's where this airline, British South American Airways, comes in.
BSAA?
Yeah, BSAA. And this airline was started by these ex-World War II pilots.
Oh, wow.
So they were, daring,
Right.
ambitious,
Right.
and they wanted to connect Britain with, far-off places.
Really far off.
Oh, yeah, like South America, the Caribbean, even West Africa.
Wow, ambitious.
Extremely ambitious.
And I bet they didn't have those fancy new planes.
You are exactly right.
Yeah.
They couldn't really afford those shiny American aircraft.
Ah, yeah, post-war autonomy.
So they had to be resourceful.
Right.
And so what they did was they used converted bombers.
Converted bombers.
Yeah, like these planes that were, built for war.
Oh, wow.
They were now carrying passengers.
I mean, I guess they had the planes.
Right.
Yeah.
Avro Yorks, Lancastrians, Tudors.
Wow, I can just imagine,
Can you imagine?
like, the noise and the cold.
Oh, absolutely.
Not exactly a luxurious flight.
Definitely not. Definitely not the first-class experience we'd expect today.
So what about this whole fly with the stars thing?
Oh, yeah, that was their slogan.
I see.
Fly with the stars.
And all their planes had star names, right?
Almost all of them.
Yep.
Star Tiger, Star something else, and so on.
So it was more than just a branding thing.
It totally was.
Oh, interesting.
You see, back then, no GPS.
Oh, right. Makes sense.
They relied on celestial navigation.
Wow. Navigating by the stars.
Exactly.
Especially over the ocean.
Especially over those long stretches of water.
Wow. So they had these skilled pilots, but were working with some limitations.
Totally. A blend of ambition and limitations.
And so this Star Tiger, this is the plane that disappeared.
The one and only.
What kind of plane was it?
So Star Tiger, it was an Avro Tudor 4.
Okay.
It was a stretched version of the original Tudor.
Some more passengers?
Yeah, it could carry up to 32 passengers.
Wow. And this was back in 48.
Yeah, and you know what?
What?
This was actually Britain's first pressurized airliner.
Really?
So they were trying to, stay ahead of the curve.
But still, it was basically a modified bomber at its core.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm guessing it had some tech for the time.
Yeah, like radio telegraphy, radio telephony,
Okay.
even an autopilot,
Oh, wow.
and a radar altimeter.
So, not completely primitive.
They were trying. They were really trying, but,
Yeah, still a converted bomber.
a converted bomber nonetheless.
All right, so set the scene for me. When did this plane actually take off on this fateful journey?
So it was January 27th, 1948,
Okay.
and they left from London's Heathrow Airport.
Heathrow, all right.
Destination, Havana, Cuba.
Wow, long trip.
Yeah, it was planned with several stops.
Oh, where?
Lisbon, then Santa Maria in the Azores,
Okay,
Bermuda,
right.
and then finally Havana.
I see.
Now, on board, there were 25 passengers
Okay.
and 6 crew members.
A full plane.
Pretty much.
Anyone interesting on
Well,
board?
there was this one passenger, Air Marshal Sir Arthur Cunningham.
Wait, the war hero?
Yeah, a decorated World War II commander.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is, isn't it?
You had a true war hero on this flight.
I know, and little did they know.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong, right?
Well, let's just say this flight did not get off to a smooth start.
Oh, no, what happened?
Well, right off the bat,
Mm-hmm.
the heating system, it malfunctions.
Oh, no, in January.
In January, can you imagine?
Freezing.
Passengers had to bundle up in blankets.
Oh, no. Poor things.
And to make matters worse,
Yeah.
one of the compasses breaks down.
So they are flying in a converted bomber in the middle of winter with a broken compass.
That's basically the situation.
Yikes. Yeah, not ideal.
So what happened next?
Well, thankfully, their first stop was Lisbon.
A chance to warm up.
Exactly. And they were able to fix the compass.
Good, at least that.
But here's the thing.
Uh,
2 more passengers boarded there.
so now it's even more crowded.
Yep, a total of 31 souls on board.
Oh, wow. And then...
And they continue on to Santa Maria.
Okay.
But guess what?
More problems.
More problems.
What now?
The heating system acts up again.
Ugh, seriously. And then bad weather rolls in, delaying their departure even further.
So they're stuck.
Pretty much.
I bet they were getting anxious.
Oh, I'm sure, especially the crew, because now they've got a tough decision to make.
What was it?
Do they take off with full fuel tanks, which
Okay.
means being overloaded,
Right.
or do they leave some passengers behind?
Wow, that's a tough one.
I know. Talk about pressure.
I know. What did they do?
Well, the captain,
Yeah.
Captain McMillan,
Okay.
he decides to go for it.
He filled the tanks.
He filled the tanks.
Wow, risky.
He was hoping to burn off the excess weight during takeoff.
Makes sense.
And he'd also had issues with fuel shortages on this plane before.
So he didn't want to risk that again.
Exactly.
It's a calculated risk, but yeah, a risk
For
nonetheless.
sure, a big one.
So they take off with full tanks and extra passengers.
Yep. And to make things even more interesting,
Oh boy, this is getting good.
another BSAA plane takes off first to act as a guide for Star Tiger.
A guide?
Yeah, because of the bad weather.
Oh, right.
So this other plane,
Wow.
it was a Lancastrian called Star Guide.
Another star plane.
Yep, they were all about those stars.
So 2 planes flying into a storm in 1948.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more.
Oh, we're just getting started.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
So we've got these 2 planes, right? Flying into this storm, no GPS, just radio communication, and this, like, old school celestial navigation.
And even that wasn't really an option because of the thick clouds.
Right. You need clear skies to see the stars.
Exactly. So they're relying on these radio signals, which, can be unreliable in bad weather.
Oh, yeah, super unreliable.
And to make matters worse,
There's more.
remember that weird altitude discrepancy we talked about?
Oh, yeah, with the Star Tiger reporting 20,000 feet when it was really much lower.
Yeah, like way lower.
Like an 18,000-foot difference.
Exactly.
That's not just a little oopsie.
Right. Makes you wonder what was going on in the cockpit.
Yeah, were they tired? Confused.
Who knows, but it's definitely a red flag.
Huge red flag.
So they're flying along in the storm, relying on these sketchy radio signals,
And then,
and then nothing.
what do you mean nothing?
Radio silence.
Oh, no.
At 3.1 seed a.m.,
Okay,
January 30th,
right.
Star Tiger, they receive a bearing from Bermuda.
So they knew where they were?
They were on course,
Okay.
but that's it.
That's the last anyone hears from them.
Last transmission, gone.
Wow, just like that.
Poof, vanished.
So someone must have noticed they were missing right away, right?
You would think, right?
Yeah.
But get this. The operator at Kinley Field in Bermuda,
Okay.
he waits over an hour
An hour.
after that last contact
To do what?
to declare an emergency.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
But they knew the conditions were bad.
I know, you'd think they'd be on high alert.
Especially after that altitude thing.
Right. Like, come on, people.
So an hour wasted.
And then what?
Well, they finally launch a search.
Okay, massive air and sea search,
Had to be.
but they find nothing.
Nothing at all.
No wreckage, no survivors, no sign of the plane.
It's like they just disappeared into thin air.
It really is.
I mean, this is, what, 77 years ago now?
Yeah, over 7 decades and still no trace.
That's unbelievable.
I know, and of course with a mystery like this, the rumors start flying.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Everything from sabotage
Right.
to complete radio failure to, the Bermuda Triangle.
Of course. Gotta have the paranormal.
Right. But let's stick to the facts for a moment.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
What are the most plausible explanations?
Well, you gotta consider fuel exhaustion.
Yeah, especially with those full tanks.
Right, but wouldn't the crew have realized they were running low?
You'd think so.
Like they're experienced pilots.
Right, but remember, this was a converted bomber.
True, not exactly known for fuel efficiency.
Plus, they could have had engine trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe made worse by the storm.
And if the engines were working harder, they'd burn through fuel faster.
Exactly. So even if they had full tanks, they could have run out much quicker than expected.
That's a scary thought.
It is, isn't it?
Okay, so fuel's a possibility. What else? Navigation error.
Could be, but they were sending regular position reports.
Right. They seem to know where they were.
And the crew was experienced.
Yeah,
But that altitude discrepancy,
that's true. That does make you wonder.
right, could be a sign of fatigue.
Yeah, they've been flying for hours in those conditions.
Plus all the stress with the delays and the technical issues.
Fatigue can definitely lead to mistakes.
Even for the best pilots.
So maybe they made a miscalculation, even a small one.
And back then, a small error could be catastrophic.
All right, so fuel exhaustion, possible navigation error. What else?
Well, we got to consider the possibility of, you know, a loss of control.
Like the plane malfunctioning.
Yeah, remember they had to replace an engine part back in Lisbon?
Oh, yeah, the left engine.
Maybe there were still issues with that engine.
Or maybe a completely different engine malfunctioned
Exactly. And what if the autopilot was engaged?
to maintain a steady course.
Yeah, but if an engine failed, the autopilot might have made things worse.
Oh, I see. Like setting the plane into a dive.
And at such a low altitude, they might not have had time to recover.
That's terrifying.
And again, no time for a distress call.
It would explain why they vanished so suddenly.
Right. But we can't forget about the elephant in the room.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. I mean, that area is notorious for its unpredictable weather.
Definitely, you can have these sudden violent storms pop up out of nowhere.
And a powerful downdraft that could force a plane down really quickly.
No time to react, no time for a mayday.
So whether it was the engines, navigation, or the weather.
It seems like something just overwhelmed them.
And they had no way to fight back.
It's kind of eerie, you know?
Yeah, just gone.
Like, it makes you realize even with all their skill and the technology they did have,
Right.
flying back then,
Uh-huh.
it was still...
Especially over the ocean.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Like, think about it.
Yeah?
We've got GPS now.
Right.
Advanced weather forecasting.
It's incredible how far we've come.
I know, right?
Can you imagine if Star Tiger had all that?
Things might have been very different.
Yeah, no,
But back then, it was a different world.
for sure.
You know, even after the disappearance, some people were picking up these mysterious radio signals.
Really?
Yeah, they thought it was like evidence of something paranormal.
Ooh, the Bermuda Triangle strikes again.
It's like when we don't have answers,
Mm-hmm.
our minds, they kind of fill in the blanks.
Yeah, we want an explanation, even if it's like supernatural.
Exactly.
But sometimes the truth is more fascinating than any,
Than any fiction.
Yeah.
And with Star Tiger,
Mm-hmm.
it's a story of these like brave people pushing boundaries, facing these incredible challenges,
Yeah.
and ultimately, well,
Nature won.
nature won.
It's a reminder that even with the best skills, the best intentions,
Yeah.
sometimes
Things just happen.
they do.
And we're left with these unanswered questions.
It's kind of unsettling, isn't it?
It is, and even today, with all our technology,
Mm-hmm.
there are still mysteries out there.
Yeah, things we may never fully understand.
So, what will you remember from this story?
I think for me, it's the balance,
What do you mean?
like between human ambition and the power of nature.
Oh, I see.
We can innovate, we can explore,
Mm-hmm.
but we got to respect the forces that are bigger than us.
That's a good takeaway.
And sometimes those forces, well, they win.
They do.
It's humbling.
It is. It's a good reminder to be, humble, to appreciate the world and all its mysteries.
And maybe, just maybe,
yeah.
those mysteries are what keep us going.
Keep us exploring.
Yeah, keep us searching for the truth.
Even if we never find it.
Even then.
Well said.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the mystery of Star Tiger.
It's been a good one.
It has, and until next time, keep looking up at those stars and maybe, just maybe, you'll find your own mystery to ponder.